Welcome back. We just came from Radius. Now we got to do TACACS. Yes, it's a weird name. TACACS Plus, that is, because that is the enhanced version. All right. It's pretty much the same thing. You can read about it for all you RFC freaks on 1492. All right, to get all the last things. But it runs on TCP. That's one of the advantages that it has over Radius, that Radius uses UDP. This is using TCP. It's still accepting username and passwords. It's still authenticating users, all right, to the network. Obviously, it's based on algorithms and the data used to make decisions to complete control whoever is running the TACACS daemon, which is also called. All right, but definitely TACACS is pretty much the same configurations. Instead of putting Radius, you put TACACS. All right, but again, the differences is definitely it runs on TCP, which is connection oriented. And more importantly, with Radius, the encryption is only the username and password. With TACACS, everything, the whole data is encrypted, which makes it better. So it has less vulnerabilities than Radius, because Radius, it's open, it's open to a lot of attacks due to the fact that it's running UDP and not everything is encrypted. But you're gonna see now in the lab is pretty much the same configuration. What we're gonna do again, this is the very, 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 very basics of these two protocols that we did. We did Radius already. Now we're doing TACACS, which is pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the lab is going to look the same. IPs hasn't changed or anything like that. It's the same IPs. So let's go ahead and get into the lab now. Welcome everyone to our TACACS Lab. As you can see here, we have our TACACS server. That's going to be 10.2. And we have our client, which is going to be the router itself, which is 10.1. And we have a host here, so we can go ahead and we're going to telnet into 10.3, but I'm going to move this to one side. I don't know why it did. Why did that move that way? There we go. And open this up. There we go. This is the commands which you will have access to, all right, that you need to do in order to create. Now, obviously, you don't need this. You just need to put whatever IP address you feel like it, but I'll have it there just so you know what to put in case you can't see it there on the lab itself. And you can see that the TACACS host, it's going to be 10.2. The TACACS server host, 10.2, Cisco secret. I put it twice. I don't know why. Let's delete one of those. I don't want you to think, oh, hey, let's put it in twice. All right. So this is the commands that are in here already. All right. I'm not here to show you how to put IP addresses on interfaces or anything like that. I'm here to show you the commands that you need to type in. Now, what we did was we created a new AAA model, and this is obviously done from global configuration. This is done from global configuration. We do a new AAA model. We do a AAA model for authentication login for the default group. Instead of using Radius, as we did before, we're going to use TACACS Plus. All right, we're going to do the same thing. We say none. All right, and triple authentication login for telnet lines. Telnet lines. All right, for that particular group, we're going to use TACACS Plus. All right, you can put whatever IP address you want. It doesn't matter as long as it's the correct one. All right, within your subnet, within your network. Okay, and then the TACACS server host is your actual TACACS server, which in this case is this guy right here, which is 10.2. And I'll show you how to create the secret key. Not a big deal. Then you go to your line BTY 0 through 4 or 0 through 15, whatever it is that you're using, whatever allow you to put. And you put login authentication. What are we authenticating? Telnet underscore lines. That's what we put up here. We need to match this guy right here. So these are the commands that are in here. I'll show you now. All right, so this is the command. You're going to have access to this particular text file. All right, so the commands will be there for you. You don't have to think much about it. Let's go ahead and move this to one side. And let's do a show start. All right, there is your new, yes, I do have a secret password in there. I don't know why. That way you can get all the way into a router, because if you don't, you can't get in all the way in. You only be in user mode. All right, but here's your AAA new model. Here's your authentication for both. One for the default group, one for the telnet lines. And you keep scrolling down. You're going to go through the interfaces and what have you. And then you get to the TACACS server host. This is key. Ha, that's funny. This has to be the same, okay, when you're doing it on the server. This is what they need to authenticate to each other, okay? And then on your line, VTY lines, you would put the login authentication telnet lines. All right, so let's take a look at our server, all right? And again, we'll just put this off to one side. We'll go to services. We'll go to AAA. As you can see, here you put the client name. Who is your client? Router 1, which is this guy. What is his IP address? Or it's our default gateway, 10.1. Well, what do you want to use, Radius or TACACS? We chose TACACS for this particular one. And the key, we always use Cisco secret. All right, and then we just click add. We can add that in there. Now here, I decided to add two different usernames. We had a user Cisco and I put Laz Cisco. So we have two usernames because one of the things that I want to show you is AAA accounting, how it's going to go ahead and get that information. All right. So let's go ahead and try this. Let's see how this works. Did I do that? I don't know. Okay. Let's go ahead and telnet. All right. Telnet. And it's 192.168.10.1. And it's asking me for a username. Now you see I didn't create any usernames. I didn't say login local or anything like that. This is actually saying, hey, I'm trying to authenticate to the TACACS server to see if you really exist. So let's pick Laz and let's put in Cisco, C-I-S-C-O. Oh, did I put the right one? Yes, I did. Enable is Cisco again. And now we're in the router. Awesome, that worked. Okay, so let's get out. So now let's try to do it again. Let's up arrow. We're going to telnet again, but this time we'll put user, and then we'll use Cisco. Oops, I put in the wrong password, C-I-S-C-O. Okay, and now I'm in. Enable, password is C-I-S-C-O, and now we're in. That's what it's doing. It's authenticating with the TACACS server that we indeed actually exist. And we can verify this in a AAA accounting. Now you can see I've done this earlier. Okay, but you can see here, Laz, okay, and you have then user, okay, it's using the username user, okay, so it has all that information. Who am I doing it to? I'm doing it to the 10.1. So it keeps a date stamp, a time stamp of, who is accessing the router, all right, who is accessing the router. So that's good. That's what TACACS does at its basic form. You can do a lot more. But for CCNA certification purposes, this is all you need to be really concerned about. And again, you will have access to this particular text file, which is all you need to do that particular configuration. Now again, this right here, we all know we need an IP address on that interface right there. Do you have to use the same interfaces IP addresses that I have? No, you can make up your own subnet. Just make sure you're within your own subnet, okay? That's not going to cross anything else. I mean, not that it couldn't, it could, all right? And make sure that you're pointing to the proper server and that the server and the secret on the router and the secret on the server, meaning the key, is the same. It is case sensitive. So be very, very careful. You're not in English class, okay? So make sure that you put things correct. But that's it. That's all there is to TACACS. I'll see you outside the lab. All right, and we're back from our lab. Pretty easy, not bad, straight to the point, okay? Here's your TACACS server where we did, here's the client, here's the IP address. We're going to use a TACACS server, and this is the key that we're going to use with the Cisco router, which is Cisco secret. We added those two names, right? So we can authenticate, so we can be authenticated to the TACACS server. We had the user account and we had Laz, okay? Then we can go ahead and telnet, because everything was done to the telnet lines on the actual client. Remember, this will be your client, the 10.1, and this will be the host, right? So when you're doing the configuration, you're a AAA new model. We're doing authentication login for default. Group TACACS, none, as usual. AAA authentication login. Telnet lines, that's what we're doing. That's why I said line BTYs, okay? Group TACACS plus the TACACS server host 192.168.10.2. That's the TACACS server host 10.2. Okay, and then you go. The key is going to be Cisco secret. They must match, so it is case sensitive. All right, it's got to be the same, exactly the same. All right, and TACACS server. I already told you that. I wrote it both wrong. Okay, I put it twice. So sorry. I put it twice. Okay, and then line VTY 04, and then we have our login authentication telnet lines. Just make sure. I mean, you're not. Again, I'm repeating it a million times. Doubtful. I'm gonna say it that way. Okay, doubtful that you guys will be doing this, because this really falls more under the branch of CCNA security than anything else, not the CCNA routing and switching. But at least Cisco is a good thing. They want you at least to be aware of it. That's why more than likely this will be a multiple choice or multiple response question. Or maybe it could be, drag and drop or what have you. So just understanding the concepts of TACACS and what it does is more important than anything else. Real world, definitely you need to know this. You will know this. You need to know in a lot more detail. This is like the very, 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 very basics of it. So you will need to get into detail if that indeed is what you're going to be handling. Because when you go to the real world, everybody has a particular thing that they're going to be doing. Are you handling the WAN side? What part of the WAN side are you handling? Are you handling the LAN? And what part of the LAN? What aspect of it? Unless you're the only IT individual in that entire company. Because if you're using a TACACS server, I'm pretty sure you're at least a medium-sized business, and there's more than one IT person there. There should be. If you're the only one, I'm sorry. I hope you're getting paid for it. All right, because there is a lot of things to TACACS or Radius or any security that you're going to do, because you have firewalls and policies and all these different things, switch port security. So it's insane. But anyway, this is how you would configure TACACS. And this is the policy you went on. Don't get confused. This is your client. This is your host. The secret key needs to match, and it is case sensitive. That said, you saw it done. Easy peasy. See you in the next one.